time, the visa officer may want to know if actually your intention is to enter into Canada and of course leave at the end of your study program. And remember, I have always said that when you are applying for a study permit to Canada, you should always put into consideration that at the end of the day, the visa officer wants you to know that, or wants you to tell he or she that you would leave Canada. You understand? So always put this at the back of your mind before you do an application. Someone reached out to me and said, Milton, I did my application, but it was not successful. Can you please point out some things that you think that could be wrong with my application? So when I saw section letter, the GSM form, I knew exactly what was wrong. Now, let me elaborate again about this stuff. If you are going to be applying for a study permit to Canada and you have a family member in Canada, first, make sure don't lie, but you have to find ways to convince the visa officer that you are going to leave Canada at the end of your study program, because they already know. As soon as you tell them that you have a family member in Canada, they are going to be looking for means to see if you actually proof yourself that, or you actually wrote somewhere that you are going to return when you study or when your study program is over. Some of the things I would advise you to do, if you must show some of these things, if you do not, or let's say if you have not traveled before and you do not have a family member in Canada, or if you do have a family member in Canada, it also applies to you. First, travel history. If you haven't traveled before and you have a family member in Canada, it would be good you try to go to nearby places. Nearby places, I mean, if you have an opportunity to go to another African country that will just give you a stamp in your passport, then that will be great. It is very, very important. You need to explain this. They need to see this. At least having travel history doesn't guarantee you a visa, but it increases your chances. And not having travel history does not reduces your chances, but it rather gives you an advantage. But it is not a must that you must have travel history. I'm just giving you different scenarios that you could consider here, right? So if you travel, maybe go to Dubai. If you have the money, maybe go to Cotonou, maybe go to Gabon, go to Equatorial Guinea, where your passport will be stamped. Then that will be good. All right. Another thing that may get you a rejection is insufficient funds. Now, most of the time, some students think that paying part of your tuition fee is going to guarantee them a visa. No, that is not how visa study permits to Canada work. If you have already paid part of your tuition, excellent. It's a great way for you. If the school said that you were supposed to pay, then that is a great way for you. That is a great way for you to actually tell the visa officer that you are ready to go. But again, remember that there are certain ways. Even if you show a bank statement, you need to equally prove how the money is coming into the account, how you are going to be using the money. Or let me say, you need to show documents, right? Yes, you need to show a lot of documents. Even if you show a bank statement, it is very, very important for you to show this. Now, let's say if you have some money, if your program is a 1-year program, right, you need to show that you have living cost money for 1 year. You need to show that you have your tuition fee for 1 year, and don't just show small amounts of the tuition fee. Try to raise the amount a little up, so that when the visa official, there is something I always mention on this channel called miscellaneous. All right, miscellaneous means that maybe flight ticket, maybe transportation in and out of Canada. You understand what I mean? So just raise it out like that. Though your living cost money includes your accommodation and everything, but just raise the money a little above, maybe up with plus 4,000 or 5,000 Canadian dollars. All right, it's very, very important. Remember, there are documents you are going to prove or to show to the visa officer. All right, there are documents you need to prove. Now, these are some of the things. Before I even talk about the documents, I want to talk about another reasons that may get you a rejection. All right, a lot of people don't know this. It's called family ties. Family ties in this case may come in the form of properties or maybe family members. I know someone who just explained that her family ties, that is what I'm trying to explain now. She just said that she has her parents back home, and of course she does not have a child. She has her parents back home and her father, they are old and stuff like that. Then they gave her the visa. All right, but remember, it's not all about family ties that a visa is granted. In cases different scenarios. All right, somebody can explain all the ties in the world and still did not get the visa. So it depends, and that is the reason I'm taking time to explain all of this to you. Now, family ties live here. If you are working, let me put it this way: if you have a job, you work with a company, all right, and you want to go for studies, it will be good for you to get what is called study leave, all right, from the company. Not all companies will give you this document, guys. Some will refuse to give you, some will give you, but if you can get the study leave, that will be good. Another very important thing you should take note of, all right, if you do not have a family member, what is this? If you do not have a family member in Canada, make sure you state it. All right, don't write an application or your letter of explanation without explaining this. It's very, very important. Let them know that you don't have a family member in Canada, and after your studies you are going to leave. Then you can equally explain that you are the only child of your parents, all right, and after your studies you are going to leave because you want to come back, take care of your father's property. If your father have properties, you show the documents. All right, you have to come back and take care of your parents. Since you are the only child, there is nobody there. However, there is nobody there to take care of them. However, if you are married, you can equally state that you are married, and after your studies you are going to come back to your wife or your husband back home in Nigeria or Ghana or Cameroon. All right, it doesn't really matter, but just so, and remember, as you are explaining this, you need to show proof of your marriage certificate, maybe marital pictures. Very, very important. These are some of the family ties you are going to mention. If you have properties that you own houses, show this. All right, someone was telling me she has taxes, and I told her what to do. Add pictures, show the necessary documents of the taxes. All right, those are very important documents. After this video, I'm going to talk about some documents that you have to show to the visa official. All right, or maybe I will just add them into this video so we make it one big video. Yes, I will just add them. So this is how you go about it. Now for the proof of funds, all right, funds and how to show the funds. Remember, I've always said that you don't just carry maybe 2 million, 3 million. After maybe like 6 months, the account is not receiving any money. You just carry maybe 2 million, 3 million, and you bumped it into that account. No, that is not how it's done. All right, if you do that, they are going to suspect you. They are going to so what you basically need to do is, when you are about to apply, start building the account. Remember, you are going to show a 4 months bank statement. I always encourage international students to go for 6 months. So build the account, maybe 200k, 300k, 200, 300, 400, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 300, 400, 500, like that. Slowly you build the account slowly. All right, so that at the end of the day, when they see it, they will not see some heavy amounts of money entering into the account. This is for the case of the proof of funds. When you bring the bank statement, it has to go like this. All right, then a letter of sponsorship letter from a sponsor in case you are being sponsored, because remember, I always say you either sponsor yourself as a student, then your parents, that is your mother and your father, or your siblings. Anything outside of this, the people, of course, they need to like give you a sponsorship letter. Of course, your parents can give you as well, but anything outside of this is not really a proper option. But if you do not have all these other means, then you can go for it and back it up with documentation. All right, it's very, very important. I hope you understand. Now I'm looking at my jotter here, so if you see me looking down here, not be confused. Right, the bank statement, like I said, the bank statement should carry your full tuition fee. Yes, you may be asking, Milton, what if I'm going for a 2 years program, I'm going for a 3 years program, the money is too much? Yes, if you have money in your own account, show proof of it, then you get a sponsor as well. All right, this way I think it can help you. If you have all the money in your account, no problem, is good to go. Just prove that how you are getting the money, and prove that money will be coming to you when you are in school, all right, studying the program. So it's very, very important. Linkage in the program you are applying to is very important. What I mean by linkage in the program you are applying to is, don't be an accountant. Maybe you work in a bank, you are an accountant, and maybe if you intend to go and study a 1 year program, instead of you going for things like accounting management or maybe things related to accounting, now go and you choose nursing. Where is the correlation? There is no correlation between the two. So that's what I mean by linkage in the program. You must be able to show a link within the program so you explain yourself very well. All right, it's very, very important. If your sponsor would be able to phone you, of course, your letter of explanation is very important. You explain that in the letter of explanation, and of course, explain that the sponsor must give you a sponsorship letter. I already explained this, all right, because it's very important. And make sure you equally write on your letter of explanation when you are writing that it is your sponsor, of course, sponsoring you. Maybe your sponsor gave you this money, and if their sponsor is giving you money, let me say there is something called gift deeds. All right, if you are getting a gift deed from your parents or maybe from your sponsor, let them write a sponsorship letter or a letter of explanation stating that they gave you a gift deed. All right, I'm going to explain something like that. That is to say, gift deed is in something called, maybe they do a document to show that they gave you 10 million, 20 million, and it must be specific. Let them explain that it is for your studies. All right, then in that case, you take the letter, all notarized and stamped, legalized. You take them, you attach to your applications. It's very important. Those people sponsoring you that have let me say companies or businesses, they should also give you the documents, legal documents, and equally prove that they pay taxes. All right, anything tying you back to your home country, you need to show that as well. If you work and you have been saving from your job, of course, show your employment contract, show any proof that you have been saving from your job. All right, show the employment contract, show your attestation, show your bank statement. All right, then you show equally your pay slips. Not all companies offer pay slips, so you may not show that if you don't get it, but show proof that you work, and equally show all these documents. All right, it's very important to explain that. Now let's talk about the letter of explanation. What are some of the things that's supposed to appear on the letter of explanation? I have been explaining this for some couple of weeks now, and I believe maybe a lot of people didn't see the video. I'm still going to talk about it now. Letter of explanation is a letter you write explaining to the official, the embassy official, that this is why you are going to Canada. This is the program you are going to study, the province, the program name, and the duration. And you also explain why the course. Why did you select the course? Like I said, if you're an accountant, go for something related. If you work in a supermarket, maybe in terms of advertisement, go for something marketing. All right, don't go and you take nursing, whereas you have not been a nurse for long. The fact that you graduated 4 years ago and you have not been in school for 4 years, and you studied nursing, doesn't mean that what you are doing at the moment is what you should neglect. What you are doing at the moment is what you should tie it to the program, and what you studied 4 years ago is not very much important again. All right, you have to put this into consideration. It's very, very necessary to give you the visa. It's a case by case basis. All right, it depends on what and when you are applying, and like I said, it's a case by case based issue, so you have to address it based on what you meet. If you need a one-on-one consultation with me, please make sure you book from the video description box. It's very important. Then still on the letter of explanation, when you book, you are going to talk with me. All right, when you book, I'm going to see the notification, and the rest will be history. Now when you book, when you are writing the letter of explanation, you need to explain, right, why the program. Like I said, you link it up, then you equally explain why you choose Canada, right? Very important. There are videos I did explaining all of this. Please check the videos on the channel and watch them. Then you equally explain why the program is going to help you, or what you are going to use that program to do in your home country. It's very, very important. Please always try to explain them and make them correlate, because without a proper correlation, your visa may just be rejected. And sometimes some people, you may be doubting that I have all my tuition fee in my bank account and I was rejected. What could be the problem? Most of the time, it depends on the previous reasons. Of course, if you demand for your GSM letter or your rejection letter, they are going to give you, and most of the time you may find a lot of reasons why your visa was rejected, and you may be thinking that maybe it's because of all those reasons. Sometimes the first reason is what will bring about the second and third reason, and most of the time the first reason is usually finance. Don't give them a room to say you don't have enough money. Foil the account. All right, it's very, very important. Foil the account so that you know what you are doing at the end of the day. It's very, very important. Foil the account. All right, I hope you understand. Now another thing you should pay attention to is maybe the documents that you are going to supply. And with the documents, I think I'm going to explain a little further in another video so that this one doesn't get too long. Now, you should understand that you have to give IRCC at least 3 months. That was before, but there is an update on IRCC from June 6, which says that study permits from particular countries. I don't know how long it's going to take in Nigeria, but visas or permits now come early, and in Cameroon is now 7 weeks. All right, that's 1 month 3 weeks or something. But a lot of people are getting their messages, or let me say emails, within 4 weeks, maximum 3 weeks, 4 weeks. All right, but please work on finance. Finance is very important, and a lot of other stuff. The documentation, very important, because I was telling someone that he needs supporting documents, not just the bank statement. No, not just the bank statement. The bank statement alone will not help you. All right, I hope this video helps you. You are going to watch another video where I will explain detailedly, if you are getting a sponsor, what are some of the documents the sponsor needs to supply to you, so that you know the necessary things to do and the necessary step to take. All right, I hope this will help you gain your visa. Till we meet again in another one. I'm going to be talking about Europe and the Schengen zone very soon, so please do not forget to subscribe to the channel so that when I drop another video, you would be the first to watch. Till we meet again in another one.